You know, back in my day, didn't you hate that when someone said that at the dinner table from your grandpa or an older uncle? Wasn't it always annoying when they said that? Well, be prepared to hear that for the next hour or so as I go into the roast of 2021, or as some might dub it, the Old Man Hatter rant of 2021. So, minimize the video here or let it play in the background because it's going to be a talking head video. So, get out a notebook, pen, and pencil, because back in my day we didn't have these fancy little iPads, thingies, or compoopers as they are now. So, class is in session. Let's go. This coffee is cold here. Yeah, there's no coffee in here. Let me get more coffee. My back. Alright, so let's get started here with this video. You're not gonna see me on camera probably for the rest of the video, so just like that review of 2021 for my hat collection for 21, I'm gonna treat you guys again by not being on camera. I'll just be drinking my Mountain Dew in the background here, squeaking on my chair, and looking up a few things along the way. But it would have been a nightmare to have edited it all out in video form, to be honest. So might as well just kind of record once the best I can and go from there. So, all right. So I don't know if this is a roast of 2021 or if it's just me being old man Hatter about all of this. I really I think it's a roast, but many other people would think that it's just me complaining, which it is. So either way, I'll call it a roast, just so it's a catchier title, more of a clickbait. Hopefully that works out. So let's start off with the one thing. There's a few topics here that I'll kind of go through. Excuse me. The first thing that I put on the outline. Now, when I start to mention any of these things on the video here, I know that there are some people out there that have some sort of might have an association to one of the things that I'll mention. They'll be like, well, hey, I do that. I did that this year, and this isn't against, you as a person if you're listening to this, watching this. It's just about the overall culture that I've seen, the trend that I've seen throughout, like, Facebook and Instagram. I'm not as much on Twitter and YouTube sometimes. Not many YouTube hat channels out there that are active right now anymore compared to last year. And freaking TikTok. We'll get into that later. But the first one that I really wanted to address was I did not at all have any interest in pins. I thought pins were just a bit of a waste. I can understand that, it's to, promote a hat, a hat collection, like especially with Hat Club. They've been doing it for the last year and a half, well, now 2 years really, because we're toward the end of 21, and they did a lot of pins for their 2020 hats for, like, the pre-orders and other hats they did in, like, February and March of 2020. So they've been doing it for for a while now, but I have one pin for one of my hats, and that was back in 2017, October of 2017. So I'll say I started the pin trend first. I'll say it. So you all just hopped on the bandwagon. No, my pin was a little bit different, where I had a pin that was for my first custom hat, because the design I wanted on the side of the hat embroidered was too many stitches. So the image that I wanted to be embroidered was the Luther Rose seal, which was it's a symbol for the Lutheran Church and the Lutheran branch of Protestantism under the Christian religion, and it was just a custom hat that I wanted for the 500th anniversary of the big celebration for the Lutheran Church. So that's why I have one pin, and that's really it. I can understand that the pins are cool looking, that you can get pretty creative with these pins. And there have been quite a bit of creative pins out there that I've seen from creators themselves, from other hat Instagram accounts out there, other collectors and influencers. Different companies made their own pins like that. So they've been around, and there are plenty of examples of people just going just fucking overboard with the hat pins. Like, I think it's more hilarious with the comments of, like, I think the most common comment, like, I will make on a hat post on Instagram, where they have like 7 hats on the side, 7 hats in the front, and 10 pins on like each side. And I'll ask, where's the hat? Where is the hat? Because you're just showing off your stupid pins. That hat's gonna be heavy. Everyone I see that a lot. Like, chiropractors, make sure you have a good chiropractor, because that's gonna be it's a heavy hat to have it sitting on your head. It's gonna be bending your neck and all that. But what I've seen plenty of times that I take a special offense to, I think because that it is a Cubs hat, I can understand that they might think it looks cool because of the alignment and the placement of what the logo is and what they put on it with the pin. That that circle Cubs logo that everyone just went batshit crazy over, with the 1990 All-Star Game side patch, that kind of like the bear with the face, and the kind of like the not the triangle looking one, but the one that's kind of more elongated outwards. Yeah, I see plenty of times, unfortunately now it's getting to be plenty instead of a few, but plenty of times people will put like sunglasses pins on the eyes, and it's like, fuck you for ruining a hat like that. And there's some guy that I had commented on. Let me try to pull it up on Instagram here on my computer. I'm gonna look it up and talk at the same time. That's multitasking, kid. That's multitasking. What other hat professor can you say can do that? He had sent me he's like, "Hey, bro," not like hello or hi, but "Hey, bro." And he has the pro image kind of like tone, like white cream hat, and it's got the sunglasses on the bear's eyes. I mean, I can kind of see like that's cool. Like, yeah, it does make an effect there. And he said, "Tell me it ain't clean. And I'm like, please, I said, please let me know your honest opinion, madame. I don't know if he wanted to insult me by saying madame, or I really wanted him to call me a madman, because that would have been more appropriate. But, I mean, he said that he is a Cubs fan, so I'll give him a little bit of a pass, but it's like you're just ruining a hat when you do that. You just ruin it. And I should have said this from the beginning, but don't forget that the primary purpose of a 5950 fitted hat, there are many purposes for a 5950 fitted hat, but the original and still primary purpose for a 5950 fitted hat is to support and root for the team that is on the hat. It is meant for fan apparel. I mean, the hats are made for the players on the field in the first place. So for general merchandise or for fans, the hat is meant to show your support for a certain team, whether it be for baseball, football, hockey, basketball, a college team you like, favorite soccer or rugby team. You know, if you're into the Panthers, or you jump on the Broncos bandwagon and you learn eventually that just like in American football, rugby Broncos aren't that great. You should have gone on the Panthers bandwagon. Lesson learned. But that is the primary. Remember that throughout the rest of the video. The primary purpose of a 5950 fitted hat is to support and root for the team that's on the hat. Period. That's the primary purpose. There are plenty of other purposes to the hat and other needs it can necessitate. Matching with your shoes, matching with an outfit, matching with being a combo wombo collection kind of thing. Combo wombo, outfit attire. It can be part of streetwear. It can do a lot of other things, but the primary purpose is to support the team that's on the hat. And that's what's been forgotten with this year. Now, that's not to say that you can get hats of other teams, but that's the point of a 5950 fitted hat, and that's been forgotten because I'm gonna say, let me finish with the pins. The pins, they've just become stupid. They've become excessive. And if you're into the pins, great. You have found those pins a good home, which is good. Or at least I hope that you have given those pins a good home. For me, maybe I should just get rid of all my pins because, I mean, I'm part historian. Cause I got a freaking history degree. I've always been into history, so I kind of like to hold on to some of my pins just for the history purpose of it. But there are some pins where I should really work on just giving away. Probably the new year I'll do like a sale for all my pins, and all you have to do is just pay shipping. But I might do like trivia behind it, like if I bought one of the my campfire hats, I'll send you trivia, or you gotta prove to me that you're a Cubs fan or an Orioles fan to earn the pin, and then all you have to do is pay shipping, probably like $2 to $5 at most. So that's what I'll work on for the new year. But really, and I told this guy with the pins, I told him, and he sent me more pictures of just these god ugly pins. I mean, not just like adding pins for no reason, but some of them just look ugly too. It's just, yeah. But granted, it was put on a Sandstorm hat, so there's really not much saving of a Sandstorm anyways. But I will guarantee you this, that a 2016 Cubs bandwagon fan will last longer than the hat pin trend and crave. So that's what's going to happen with the pins. They're going to die down by... I mean, they're still going to happen, but they're just the allure of it is going to just fade away. They're not going to last as long. So that's that. Going back before with the purpose of a 5950 Fit hat is to support the team that's on the hat. That's why I especially get really pissed off when I can't get a Cubs hat. When I can't get a Milwaukee Brewers hat for my brother. It was an August video. I mean, that was a video that was kind of well received. Not well received. Well viewed. Pardon me. And I think someone actually called me out as a whiny bitch, which is kind of funny. Because I don't get those comments like that. So I really felt like I was one of the big YouTube names out there when someone called me out for being a whiny bitch. I really felt like one of the big kids. But yeah, it was a Milwaukee Brewer hat, plain Jane, good gray under brim, county stadium side patch, and my brother is a Milwaukee Brewer fan because my dad is, because of free postseason tickets and free underage drinking from Raleigh Fingers. So that's why my dad is a Brewer fan. Kind of valid reasons. Even though he lives in Chicago, they're close enough. They're just close enough. So I want to. I mean, my brother, will get hats, but not as much as like I do. Just he wants the simple standard Brewer hats. Doesn't really need the fancy one. Like kept asking like, hey, do you want one of these like the cotton candy or the watermelon Brewer hat? This one looks like pretty cool, and he's like, nah, just the plain one. So this one was perfect. I didn't think that he had a county stadium side patch hat, and I went to go get it, and it's like, and it's, they were gone. They were gone pretty quick. So it's like, what the fuck? There aren't that many Brewer fans out there probably that probably even know of the Hat Club website. Maybe I'm making an assumption, assuming, which makes an ass out of you and me, the old saying there. But it's perplexing. I mean, the Brewers aren't that big of a market. That's not to say that they're a bad team. They're kind of a likable team, I have to admit. Maybe it's because my dad dragged me to so many Brewer games as a kid. But they're kind of likable. So let's see here. Power ranking the 30 MLB team market sizes. Probably on the bottom is going to be either the Royals is at the bottom at 30, and the Brewers are at 27. So Brewers being bottom 5. Why would those hats go so fast? Probably one contribution is how with the labor shortage because of the global pandemic, make sure you have all your shots, your vaccinations, and when you're eligible, go for the boosters. I'm not eligible yet for a booster, but when I do in the new year, I'll go for it. Keep wearing masks, because my sister does not want to see you in the hospital as one of her patients. So I can understand that with the labor shortage, not many hats are being made. But it's still so perplexing how the brewer hats are being sold out so fast. I went on a tirade about it. I mean, I eventually got it for my brother. I paid for resale. I think I paid like $80 at most for it. So that was pretty good, actually. Pretty good price. But it kind of comes from the fact that there's been an invasion of sneakerheads coming into fitted collecting more than before. Why? Maybe historians down the road, maybe when your kids or maybe when your grandkids are just taking History 201 at Hatt University from another Professor Hattar, maybe they'll understand why the sneakerhead invasion happened and why they had to come over in the droves that they did and use the resources of bots to obtain hats, because that kind of irks me a little bit of, one, using bots. Get into a moment. But like I had said before, that the hat is primarily for supporting a team, especially a baseball team, because that's what these hats have on the design, have on the front. They're baseball teams. So these hats are meant to support baseball teams, and most of these guys don't follow baseball. I mean, this is a free world. I know that it's a free world, and this is America. You can, in capitalism, you can buy what you want just because you have the money for it. That's your freedom. But at a principle standpoint, I feel that it's encroaching on the purity of hat collecting, where maybe old-fashioned hat collectors like myself. Again, even though I'm kind of on the youngish side, I'm 26-ish right now. That I'm an old soul, though. I'm an old man. You can probably hear it. I know that a lot of people have kind of tuned out. But I'm a traditionalist with a lot of things. And, collecting hats is meant to, support a team. Or a common hat collector goal is to collect all on-field hats from every team. But those are black nasties. Black underbrim hats. Those are bad. They're not cool. They don't have a pink UV or a side patch to match my sneakers. No, that's not cool. So it's just kind of exploded. And I'm not saying that it's just them, but using bots. But it's it seems it would feel like, following the logic, it would be a majority of. It'd be a good side of them would have bots. That the way that because I've heard from my coworkers, my managers at work talk about, for them collecting sneakers, how hard it is, how they have like their guys back rooming a few things, giving shoes out the back door and using bots and having all this other kind of these strategies just to get sneakers, and still missing out on them sometimes. That's what leads me to believe that the rise of bots is inherited and connecting into those from the sneaker invasion. So I'm sure that there are other people out there, other resellers, that are just being total assholes. I know that there are some resellers out there that aren't, but when I say asshole resellers, the ones I'm talking about are the ones selling, the Hat Club hats or Lids hats for exorbitant prices. That retail is like $50, $55, and they're selling these hats for at least $185, upwards of to $250, maybe $300 if it's a really big collection name. So, those resellers, though, that's that the purpose is to sell the hats for a huge price point, those people they're not real people. Just remember that. Those resellers, they're not real people. We don't have to care about their feelings. They just suck. That's why I don't have as many Cubs hats as I would want to. I mean, I have other teams that I like. There were some Braves hats I would have wanted to have gotten this past year, and some Orioles hats, and maybe a Nationals hat. The Braves be my second favorite team in baseball because they won the World Series the year that I was born, and my dad lived in Atlanta for a year and a half, almost 2 years, before he married my mom in the late 80s, early 90s, and he would go to the old Cobb County Stadium, and there are baby pictures of me in Braves gear. And they also went to Turner Field for the 2000 All-Star game, having that Atlanta connection. So that's why the Braves are my number 2 team. Orioles are my number 3 team. One of my former coworkers, her dad is a big Orioles fan, and she would talk about some of the Orioles games that she had been to, and when they would come into town for the White Sox games, and kind of bandwagon on that. And then the Nationals, one of my friends from college, she went to do a postgraduate program at Georgetown, so I didn't really need like a Georgetown hat, but I just thought like the Nationals logo was cooler to go with. It's a Walgreens hat. So I'm kind of explaining my fandom there, kind of to support, being a fan of those teams, of that's why I would want to get a hat for that team. There are some other hats out there that I got just because it looked good, like some Angels hats, some Mariner hats. Well, I've officially jumped the Mariners bandwagon for the upcoming season. There are some Toronto Blue Jay hats that I have that look good because that 90s Blue Jays logo, objectively top 5 of baseball logos of all time. So I do have some hats that aren't based off of my fandom. So I do fall into those cracks of like, oh, I'm not getting hats. I might sound hypocritical, but that's we're not all perfect. We always don't practice what we preach. We all try to do our best. But just with the resellers and kind of the sneakerhead invasion of people getting hats that they might not give a good home to, that they might not wear, kind of saddens me, and kind of I think infuriating is just a bit too far of a word to use. But there are plenty of times where I've seen someone post a Cubs hat from Hat Club that I wanted, or from Sports World, and they have all these pins on there, or they just kind of show it off and like, oh, look at this combination. It's like, I would give that hat a good home. I would wear that hat. I would cherish it. So also, I'm the more sentimental type of person, so that's also kind of some of my mentality. I'm going kind of down my list here with assists. How people defining assists and proxies like that, or just reselling. If an assist is basically you are selling the hat at retail. You're not gaining anything out of the transaction. Maybe like in my one case where I did buy a Cubs Spumoni looking hat from a collector from Fitted Hat Society. He was charging $70 for the hats, but he charged me $75 because of PayPal fees. That I can understand, covering like different transaction fees among the different electronic ways of transacting in currency. But if the hat's $60 and you're charging the person $90, you're reselling. You're a jackass. So anything over retail for an unruly reason, you're a reseller. So people kind of came blind, and that line was grayed vastly this year with assist versus reselling. But the reselling kind of happened a lot because there was a big lack of pre-orders. 2020, that was a huge year of pre-orders, and there were still some hats I regret not getting. Well, of course, regretting that I got them in a 7 and a 5/8, which I really was a 7.5 at the time. I thought it was a 5/8, so I got it in this larger size. But now that my head shrunk back down, in early 2021, and now it's kind of growing back, so I don't know what head size I am. So I just go with a 7.5 anyways, so that way I can at least stretch it out. Or curve the brim to release the tension on the sweatband. Plenty of pre-orders, not just from Hat Club, mainly from Hat Club, but like Clink Room, that's kind of how they kind of operate. I think My Fitteds and Sports World had done a few pre-orders, but this year I only participated in 2 pre-orders. I know that there were some other, I think Mag Park was another big retailer that did pre-orders, but I did a Hat Club pre-order that eventually got returned and then canceled when I wanted an exchange, but it's okay with it. It was just a sandstorm, so I kind of saved $67. And then Sneaker Town did a very, very excellent navy and icy / Columbia blue Atlanta Braves 2000 All-Star Side Patch hat. That was a top hat of the year. At least, for sure, it's in my top 50 list. So, if you're listening to this video now, it will be in an upcoming video, but you won't know which number it is. Is it in the top 5, the top 2, the top 16 and a half? Or did it tie with someone? So, make sure you have your notification bell set for class, that you're not missing out on finals week, please. But those are really the only pre-orders I did this year. And that I had also noticed that there was a vast reduction in, especially with like Clink Room, production is being extended out. That these hats are being pushed back months already from the 3 months estimated time period of arrival that they should be shipped out for. And it's out of the retailers' hands, the manufacturers. It's the labor shortage. Labor shortage across the world with production by itself in the countries that make the New Era hats. China, Bangladesh for sure. I don't think there's a huge labor shortage of manufacturing production in Haiti, where I think Vietnam might be one of the other places that makes 5950 and New Era hats. But there's also a labor shortage in America, because that's why the cotton candy hats were delayed from being shipped out from the Hat Club warehouses, that because they were just sitting on the ships out in the California Bay area, out in the Pacific Ocean, just outside, there weren't enough hands and logistics staff to receive those ships, not just for hats, electronics, other goods, textile goods, clothing, other goods like that are made overseas, imported into America. Not enough people for logistical staffing to receive. I think it was a customer that told me a few months ago that this isn't a supply chain, it's a supply train wreck. And she said her son works for a logistics shipping company, didn't say which one, and that train wreck joke stopped being a joke after a while because it just was truer and truer every day, and it's like, why joke about it? It's not making us feel any better. It's not changing the situation. So, that was a big reason for the lack of pre-orders in 2021 and just availability. Like I said before, how, yes, the bots are eating up those hats pretty fast. But like it had been said before, they can't. There's probably imagine that there's like 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 people out there that want, these hats of a certain collection and a certain team and a certain size too. There's still you still have a fighting chance. You still have to fight to get it. It's not guaranteed. So the production of the hats themselves went down. I'm sorry for yawning. It did help that Hat Club ended some of their they cut off people in their invoice gang. That I had a hat pimp give me some supply for 2020 for quite a bit into 2021, but they got cut off, and I can kind of understand it sucked, but they could only get hats in their size. So if they got something other than their size, it would kind of be a canceled order. And then eventually my hat pimp got their hat privilege canceled. I guess to help combat with the stereotype of Hat Club having availability for the general public for hats, but also because these hat quantities of orders of collections just kept shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. So I guess I hope that from their business logistical standpoints of operations would be that they would just kind of cut out those people to have better availability and better chances for other people, hat peasants like you and me, especially me, to get hats that we would want. But then again, there are places out there. I was trying to look it up, but it came across my Instagram feed. Capture monitors. Seems like it's a kind of like an exclusive club. You pay. I looked into it a little bit. A $25 fee, and then you get to, get access to these hats. You have some sort of step up on the other people from getting hats, and then there's the Fitted Notify that I guess they have like a Discord. It's another Instagram page that's up here that I'm seeing that they have this special access to get you stuff. I'm trying to see what their fee is for their ridiculous and sketchy like service. I can't really figure it out so much that I'm just looking this up on the fly while I'm bantering. because the link that's on the Instagram page is a Clash Royale thing. So it's probably something else that's sketchy, that they have all these screenshots of people getting to eat, getting to pick up these different hats and take a W instead of an L on hats. And from the comments, I guess it works. It's just really, really freaking shady, and really, again, for me as an old man, it's just untraditional and annoying. But it's something that would have come up no matter what, sooner rather than later. So I can understand why it came up, but I don't like that it came up. So yeah, those guys would both those kinds of groups there, the Fitted Notify and the Capture Monitors, they would be in detention in Hat University for sure. It's kind of douchey moves what they're doing. It feels like. So let's see what else here. Kind of going through the rest of the list here. Kind of wrapping up with the labor shortage, the hat shortage. Also drove up prices for hats. I've been keeping track of my purchases through January, I think it was actually January 21st. Yeah, January 21st was my first hat that I put on my spending sheet here, and I will do it better in 2022. So if you didn't see from my 2021 review video, I spent calculated $4,400 in hats, and anywhere estimated between 46 and, actually now that I'm thinking about it, between 46 and maybe 4750 in hats this year. So I'm sure if other people kept track of their hats purchases like I did, I'm sure that there would be quite a few more handful of people that would have spent at least double what I've spent. But yeah, hat prices have been going up where I've seen, and this is rounding up or rounding down, kind of keeping it to the whole number value. So my Baltimore Orioles Mint Midnight Collection, $55. That was on January 23rd. My next Hat Club hat wasn't until actually Cubs Shamrock in March 6th, 2021, and that was $56. And then the next, actually, there's a Chicago Bluesman hat that I got, the Fake Hockey Hat Club League, $56. And then the Blues Cookies and Cream leftover drop was $45. I remember I was able to use a code for that. Twins cross-check in late March was $56. And by even I'm trying to look at a good example here, the Cubs Juicy Fruit hat in early May was $55. And my Cubs Navy and Icy under UV hat from Hat Club, that was $55 too. So the prices jumped. And I mean, granted, whenever you do like Apple Pay on the Hat Club website, it'll default to the $7.90. Usually, it'll default to the $7.99 FedEx crappy shipping option. Crappy because it's FedEx. If you didn't know this, I've actually heard from one of my friends who works in UPS, Go Brown. The FedEx employees are given a ancient language manual to read. That's how they communicate with each other when they're kind of out in public and they kind of want to talk smack about like a customer, or they want to keep things like on a secretive level. They speak ancient Babylonian, which is very interesting. And actually, the phrase Hat Club comes up in ancient Babylonian text. Translated to English, it translates to smash the box. In ancient Babylonian, Hat Club means smash box. So that's why everyone keeps getting their FedEx boxes crushed from Hat Club. So, just to let you guys know, a little history lesson there for you. But, yeah, the prices jumped. And I'm trying to look at my... I can't really tell when they really jumped up because I didn't get every Hat Club hat. And there's some Hat Club hats that I didn't always want either. So, another kind of reason I don't have like concrete numbers, but I think a lot of us can agree the prices have gone exorbitantly high and out of control. Like, I think my latest Hat Club purchase was a Cubs Badland, that maroon and orange hat, which I'm glad Hat Club canceled it because it was an ugly hat. At first I liked the idea of maroon, but then having the orange on the bottom is like, I don't know. So that one was $67. And even the Orioles campfire, the Cubs campfire, those were $67 too. This was taxes and shipping, so taxes are a little bit different for everyone. I have to live in Crook County. That's how we pronounce it. It's not Cook County. There's a silent R that's not written out. But it's Crook County that we pay 10% tax. It's baloney. But prices went up, and same thing was lids hats, and even on-field hats went up in price, and it just kept creeping up and up and up. There are some places with lids, whether it be, usually it's in store, that I will see on-field hats go for $45 now. Absolute bullshit. But kind of part of the inflation with part of the inflation problem that's become of the labor shortage. So let me kind of end here with lids. I put that on my list here. I was going to put down some extra bullet points under each of the main points that I've talked about: the pins, the sneakerhead invasion, the resellers, assists, lack of pre-orders, and labor shortage effects. And under lids, I have only one extra bullet point underneath: overhype. That, if you remember, I'm going to go on a tangent here. I need to not go on a tangent. But I made a video back in May. Well, the video came out in May, but I recorded it back in like March of 2021. Because in February of 2021, lids became cool again. It was the midnight ride of... I forget his name. Hold on. I can't do this to him. Sean the Hat Patriot. He's a Pittsburgh fan. Pittsburgh super fan. He had posted, he was the first one that I had seen on any social media platform, Instagram, Facebook, it was on FHS, anywhere else, about lids having color underbrim hats. And everyone lost their shit that after nearly a year of Hat Club doing this, Lids did it too. So it was just freaking amazing that they did it. But they didn't tell anyone. Not initially. I don't know if it's their grand scheme. Maybe, I mean, granted, I have been telling Lids since March 19th of 2019, the decimation, the fall of Lids. I've been telling them to get a better communication manager, communication director. So, I don't know if... I don't think they listened to me. So whether it's because they just didn't want to hire a new person, they didn't want to spend money on staff like that, or maybe they just wanted people, the hack community, to rustle up that news. They wanted the hack community to spread it amongst ourselves, kind of have it grow organically, like a grassroots kind of idea. I'm just thinking about that now. Maybe it was a mastermind plan of Lids for them to do that all along. Nah, the communication still is dog shit. They took the same communication class as my ex did, so they still have plenty to go. They still have not apologized for March 19th of 2019. Not just to me, but they haven't apologized to the hack community, and this is officially apologized. This is not. They're trying to suck back up to us by putting out all these cool new hats with under visor colors and side patches and different color patterns and palettes. Some of them are cool. The original black and pink one, I regret not getting. I regret not getting the Cubs one. I did get the Baltimore Orioles one. I eventually got the Nationals kind of cotton candy looking version that Lids did. Didn't like it. Forgot to return it. So now it's in the collection. I'm looking over at my wall, my shoe shelving, trying to see which one else I got. The navy and pink Cubs 1908. That was a good one. I love that color combination. It took me a while to get that one because they wouldn't sell it online with the discount because, if you're a Lids member, you pay, if you're a Lids member, you should be then paying the $5. There is a free option, but most people pay the $5, at least ideally, to become a member to get the 20% discount on your hats. But because Lids still sucks, they have Fanatics run their website, and even though it's the Lids name on the website, Lids doesn't control it. So they don't have jurisdiction or control over the protocol and procedure of how the discounts actually work. So yeah, you guys need a whole lot of you need a big rehaul in the front office there, or at least an adult with a brain with an IQ larger than my shoe size to fix this stuff. Because yes, these, like the Rust Belt hats, that was a really cool hat. The Irish coffee hat, I totally regret not getting it while it was in my hand. I don't know why at the time, but I mean, yes, it is cool that Lids has been doing all these different hat color combinations, and they have been pretty popular. Wasn't one of my favorites of the year. I didn't have any interest in it, but damn, that Roy G. Biv collection was probably the best hat collection of the year, of anywhere. And the Serapes were also popular. Their Cobra Kais were popular as well, 1.0 and 2.0. Again, all those collections I didn't really have any personal interest in because of the colors, but I am sure that those hats were given good homes for collectors and other baseball fans out there. But I kind of knew it would happen like this, because Lids is recognized as a titan with hats. They say it on their ads, their signage in front of their stores, on their social media posts. When it's every year, every time it's September, August, or October, when they do the Lids Ultimate Hat Collection Contest, they're the home of the fitted. They're the home of the 5950. And not just the 5950 aspect, but for them to have the diversity of hat styles, hat brands, different sports leagues, different sports teams, of men's, women's, college teams out there. I think they've even done esports too, or maybe that's because that they merged with Fanatics. But still, that Lids has been a titan, a pillar of hat collecting for years and years in the past. Because more often, even with some of these newbie kids that are starting, that the same kids that are calling for Holy Grail hats, but they've only started collecting in March of 2021. They've even probably gone into Lids first to get their first hat. It's just the simplicity that Lids also has many, many physical storefronts to put out their product. Makes them such a wide presence among hat collecting. Even before 2020, they had some pretty good collection out there. I want a Prism 2.0 collection. The Prism collection, I totally missed out on. I mean, I was very lucky that I was able to find a Cubs green Prism, kind of like a forest green hat at a outlet lid store. The Prism collection is basically a 5950 hat. So my Cubs Prism hat, the whole hat is green. Every single inch is green. The new era size sticker that says 7.5 on there is green. The button, the eyelets are green. The taping on the inside is green. The buckram has a green tint to it. The sweatband is green. The tags that say that's made in China, the tags that say genuine merchandise for MLB are in green. The sizing tag on the inside is green. So whatever your favorite color is of the rainbow, if it's purple, red, blue, all that is in one hat. The hat is all one color. That'd be so cool to do again. Grungy Gentleman, that was also a good collection that I missed out on for some reason. There were plenty more in the past, but I can't remember them off the top of my head. But I still see past the flashy hat that Lids is putting out this year, that they still have structural cracks, that especially with the membership part, that I made a video. So you think Lids is still cool, or you think Lids is cool, that my $5 doesn't go as far in 2021 as it did 5 years ago when I started the hat collector in 2016. My $5 value has been diminished. I'm not going to go into that rant a whole lot further, but watch that video if you can. Because you go the extra mile paying that membership due to pay for benefits, to get 20% off all your hats, to get reward points that you can know about and use online or in store. So there's still a lot that Lids has to change in their website because it's a mess. I'm glad that one of the, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there's a Lids connected guy that has on his Instagram. He has like a dedicated Instagram account just for the new lids drops, and there's like a link to a blog page that will go to the whole collection. So recently there's like a Timberlands collection drop. So you go to his blog site and you click on the picture that shows the Timberlands or the cranberry. I think they're the cranberry one, or the camo, and all those hats underneath that collection are there. It shouldn't have to be like that. It shouldn't have to be that someone has to go out of their way to fix a mistake that lids shouldn't let happen, because everyone's saying Lids is back. Lids is cool again. Lids is dropping these cool hats. No one's saying that about Fanatics. No one is. So why does Lids have to be under the incompetency of the website designers of Fanatics? It's baffling. And I thought I had heard that they're going to make it easier in this upcoming year, in 2022, to have a dedicated page just for these colorful hat drops. So that would be nice. I haven't heard anything else. It was just rumored before a few months ago at the time of this recording, but no other progress really that I've heard. So I hope it's a surprise. I just hope it actually happens, because it is such a pain in the ass to try to look for a hat there. There are a lot of extra steps you have to do, and it just doesn't make sense. Am I sounding lazy? Kind of. I mean, I'm an old man. That's what you've been listening to for the last fucking hour. Me being an old man and complaining about everything. Again, it's just job security. Come on. What else would I do for a living if I wasn't complaining about stuff? Leave a comment down below what I should be doing instead of complaining. That'd be interesting to know for career options, just in case. So my Mountain Dew can is empty. It wasn't all that full to begin with when I started this recording, but yeah, I've been ranting for an hour. Yeah, I wanted to close off there with the lids session. How a lot of people are kind of blinded and succumb to the flash of these new hats, but there are some of us out there that still see through those hats and still see that Lids has not fixed the foundation, the core of the shopping experience as a Lids loyal customer, in store and online. So we still see you, and we're still waiting for an official apology for March 19th, 2019. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then go watch my one video, and I'll probably leave a link to that in the description down below. But my predictions for 2022, hat prices will go up just a little bit more. That's what I'm predicting, really. Hat Club has been a little bit on the decline, to be honest. Last few weeks now, at the end of 2021, they're probably gonna have one new burst of energy in 2022, and that'll be about it. Lids will continue on, and it won't be. If they do the new website, it won't be until the summer. I mean, I can understand that it does take a lot of R&D and time to develop a website at that magnitude that hopefully doesn't crash. Hat Club. And maybe might have bot prevention, Hearing about bots from another YouTube channel, and hearing it from a lot from tech and computer YouTube channels, how bots, they're out there, but there's a lot of cost to go into preventing bots from, buying the product up, and there's hard ways to prevent it. There are companies out there that take a decent stand to it, but it's not going to be perfect. So, I know that Hack Club does do some effort with bot prevention, which do appreciate, even though it might be frustrating at some times with the CAPTCHA, with the jets and the cats and the dogs and the squares, and the planes, but they do take a bit of a stand and take some effort, which is nice. But with the Lids website, that probably won't be happening until summer, even though they knew probably for a long time that they had all these hats coming out, and had seen probably early on the craving that people had for these hats, knowing that Lids was back. Where it all began. Back to the Lids. So I thought the preparation was a little weak to begin with, so I'm sure that if they're taking their time, this website then better be damn freaking perfect when it comes out. Summer 2022. I'm sure that 2022 will start the decline of these custom hats that are different color palettes, color under visors, and side patches. It won't be the end, but it'll be the start of the decline. It'll be the summer that it'll start the decline. It won't be a rapid decline, gradual. And I also predict that I will finally get to 1 million subscribers, 1 million students in the classroom, because we're so close. We're so close. So if you are still here at the end of an hour and almost 10 minutes, then wow, you deserve an A++++ for listening to all this. I hope you weren't watching this. I hope that you were just listening to this in the background. Maybe you had this as kind of like a podcast going. See, this is what a hat podcast is. That you're just listening to someone rant and not talk about something visual. That hopefully you're just listening to all this rambling, and maybe you agreed with one point, maybe you didn't. And if you didn't, then please let me know what of my old man points did I make that was wrong, was out of line, that you didn't agree with, that you would have a rebuttal that is based off of your personal experience, not of so much of feelings that I'm kind of using, but a rebuttal from experience that might change my mind. Or at least show me a new perspective. Let's put it that way. A rebuttal of your experience to show me a new perspective. That's what I would want to see in the comments. I already have kind of a group of buddies that agree with me. I agree with them mainly. MTS, Jay, Reds fan, Florida, Johnny, Crown Fitted 203. Those guys, they agree with me plenty. So if you're out there and watching this and you have any disagreements with me, that's what I'm more interested in. That's where I want the engagement to come from. People who might be new to watching me or listening to me ramble on as an old man. And, talking about maybe you started collecting this past year and what it was kind of like. Anything like that. So let me know in the comments down below. Always skip the like button. The like button and dislike button, they mean nothing. I I just want to have dialogue with each other. I want you to have dialogue with each other, with your peers in the class here, and enjoy kind of the dialogue that is to come, that we can embrace with each other. So stay tuned for my other upcoming videos. I think the next video will be my top 50 hat list, where it should be hats number 25 through 16. I think it should be that. I think it'll be that one. But again, keep your notifications set, and as always, hats off to you for watching, tipping my hat like I usually do, and saluting you. Class is dismissed. Bye, everyone.